The following is paid for by Veteran Rescue Mission. The host is solely responsible for its content. Opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and not necessarily those of Bustos Media or its sponsors.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain. Tucson's favorite family show.
Yes, indeed. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain here with, I think it's fair to say, I'm like almost stuttering because it's fair to say that he's my favorite guest co-host, my favorite co-host, because he is the original founding co-host of the Common Good Radio Show. Really, in so many ways, Common Good Radio Show wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Mr. Andreas Ruiz with I Believe Myself Coaching and Leadership, my coach, and I would say my leader, but you're not, bud, sorry. Okay. We lead each other. We lead each other
there
in that
you
way,
go.
yeah, for
Yes.
sure. But as always, as you know, Andreas, we have a great show with some community leaders in the studio with us today doing great work. Every time I have them on the show, people are even more and more surprised about kind of what they hear. So I'm excited to share that. But as you all know, this would not be the Common Good Radio Show if I did not put God first, if I did not thank him for making it so I get to even do this every week by reading the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
So all that being said, we got my buddy, Mr. Billy, in studio, which, I mean, I must say, this must be like the money where your mouth is panel, because here in this studio we have a lot of people that are all about putting their money where their mouth is. Like we are kind of like mission driven people, and if we say we're going to do something, we're going to do something, and we're about our principles and about our values. I say that for all four of us. We got Leah, who's coming on the second half of the show, and I definitely include her in that. And most recently, we've been gloating about this tool shop that, you know, is unlike any other, that you can find stuff all over the place. And also we talked about how, like, man, if you got tools, like particularly especially tools that you need to get rid of, this is a good place to call. They'll come check it out. If it's something they can take off your hands, they'll give you a quote, and if it works, Bob's your uncle. You don't have to worry about those whole bunch of tools that you had on your hands. Well, turns out I had a whole bunch of tools on my hands, right? Like I had just
it wasn't that much.
It wasn't that much.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal.
Really, nothing. Okay, well, to me,
it was fun for me.
Yeah,
but
to
it wasn't
me,
a
it felt
lot.
like it was more than like a toolbox worth of tools. Really,
Yeah.
it was like I had like carpet cleaners and blowers and just a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, just so much
I
stuff.
have
Just
a bunch of stuff too, man,
toolbox,
so
like just tools.
I'm already
just
thinking.
Tools galore, landscape tools, dollies, just like
Okay.
I had just ladders, just all kinds of just different stuff. And then
Okay.
Billy came out. He checked it out. I didn't know if it was like if he could even help. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know. Maybe he can. Maybe he can't. But this is what he says he does. So let's see. Let's see.
Yeah.
So he came over. He checked out my stuff. Gave me a call when he was there, and he's like, "Well, okay, I see it. This is what I'm thinking. Let me further assess it, and then I'll give you a call and tell you, what I'll offer you." So I was like, "Cool." I was like, "Well, you could probably offer me $3 and I'd take it." But yeah. Give me a call back. So he gives me a call back, and he tells me way more than $3.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, take it.
Yes. You're gonna take it right now, right? And he's like, no, I'll come back and get it. But yeah, just we'll coordinate that. And I'm like, okay, well, awesome. And I say
cool.
all that to say, thank you, Billy. Thank you for he's come and gotten it and cleared it out. And
That's cool, man.
The tiny house that was occupying looks much better now. And
Good.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even left everything nice and
Yeah, you
organized.
did,
And
yeah.
I swept the floor for
I
you.
saw that.
Oh,
I saw
nice.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
It was.
that's awesome.
It was like a chef's kiss of service for sure. Like, it was really, really awesome. And
Customer service, job number one.
yeah,
Nice.
I can tell. I can tell, and
That's awesome.
I feel that same way even when I've been by Tucson Tool Shop, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're there or not.
Mhm.
Like, there's just a culture of comfortability and caring about people.
Yeah.
Like, it's as if that's first. Like, we're gonna care about you,
Mhm.
and then secondarily, what tool you need, or what can we do for you?
And it's not
Nice.
only the people that work there; it's the other customers that are there too. So that's a additional thing that's pretty awesome about the shop.
Yeah. So just real quick, give people the rundown of what is Tucson Tool Shop, just in case they haven't been there, haven't checked it out, don't know the ins and outs.
It's basically tools for all trades, homeowners, do-it-yourselfers, anybody that needs anything, individual wrenches or sockets, or huge industrial businesses that need things like machine shops or landscape companies. I have a wide variety of people that I can help out.
Nice. And I almost cried today. You brought me in some notes for
the
us.
first time
Yeah, it was
ever.
great. It was great.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been on the show for at least a year now, or going on a year.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, we have
maybe
to,
a little
look
bit
back
more,
into the time
probably,
capsule.
but
Yeah. For a while now.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that you
Yeah.
that you brought notes, but in it was something that I feel like we've been talking about for a while, or maybe something that you've been already doing for a while, but we really haven't gotten into it too much. But the tool bundle sets.
Yeah.
Like that seems just brilliant. It's I mean, I almost feel like I want to go in there and get a couple bundle sets for a couple different just type of projects I want to do, whether it's like if I want to build a birdhouse, the bundle set that I would need
Oh,
for the
cool.
the birdhouse.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Huh.
but you were telling me just recently about different bundle sets that you guys have available and that you've put together upon request. Tell me more about that.
Well, the latest one that I've done was a guy that was getting a new job. It was a mechanic's job, diesel work and stuff like that, and he had a lot of tools, but he didn't necessarily want to bring his from home to the shop and back and forth and all that. So he asked me to put together a set of the quarter, 3/8, half, 3/4, shallow, deep, impact, chrome, 6-point, 12-point,
Okay.
a wrench
That's
set
cool.
up
Did
to
he lose
2
you yet,
inch.
Andreas? Did he lose you yet?
No.
No,
I mean,
okay.
no.
So-
Well, I mean, yeah, you lost me with the 3/8 and all that. Yeah, definitely. But I'm listening to the
Yeah, we get
how
the
they put-
context of it.
Those are just the drive size of the
Yeah.
ratchets,
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I can do
many
an oil
sizes.
change. That's about it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So he was
So-
asking for all these different.
Yeah, so he called me on the phone and gave me a list. I wrote it down, and he said, well, whenever it's done, let me know, and I'll if you beat other big box
Yeah,
stores
we're not
that
gonna
I've
say
seen
their name.
before.
I don't like them. No, I don't.
Yeah, if you can beat them and your stuff is better quality, then I'll come to you.
Mhm.
And I set it all together. It was there was quite a few sets and stuff involved, which makes it fun for me. But I called him up and said, "Here's what I got for you. I did the price for you. Here's what I got."
Mm.
And he was so happy. He's like, "Yeah, I'll see you in about 10 minutes."
Nice.
So
That's
yeah.
cool. It's something that comes to mind, especially we have Leah here. Just so if like Leah with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, like one of
Mhm.
her guys were to call you and be like, "Man, can you make me a bundle set for
Yeah.
a plumbing install?" Is
Yeah.
that
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have like tiny plumbing wrenches from like the 4 or 5 inchers
Mhm.
all the way up to 48 inch.
Damn.
And I also have the I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but there's also a big one for like larger pipes that
Mhm.
has an actuating head with a chain on it that's like compounding and yeah.
Man.
So I got all that
Man,
stuff.
if I worked there, I would just be going around just playing with stuff all day long, not even knowing what it is or what it does, but just like, wow, that's springy.
That's the best part of my job.
Yeah, for
I get to
sure.
play with stuff all day
Yeah.
and,
That's
and,
cool,
and
man.
constantly learn.
Absolutely.
So
That's cool, man.
yeah.
And then we probably have about 30 seconds before I have you give some contact information, but you also wanted to point out that you guys don't have hardware, even though you are
Right.
listed as a hardware store. There's not a classification for you guys. You
Mhm.
don't do rental and you don't do repair. So
Correct.
for Ned that keeps calling every Thursday
Ned Flanders.
asking for some hardware rental and repair. You guys don't do that. But
Nope.
if you need some really good priced American or just tools in general, but particularly American made tools, Tucson Tool Shop's your spot.
And I can also turn you on to some people that can help you with the other stuff.
Okay,
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Kind of like your tool navigator.
yep.
Your tool navigator. Very well. So for people who want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
On the phone, 520-624-8098. My cell phone is 520-633-5599. You can come see us in person at 133 East Grant Road. Online at Tucson Tool Shop at Gmail. We also have an eBay store.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it. Well,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Billy.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
That's Billy Hill at Tucson Tool Shop. I'm Pastor John McClain with the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission, here with Andreas Ruiz with I Believe Myself Coaching Leadership. As always, want to thank our sponsors, Proper Villains for Tucson, We Care Tucson, 100 plus guys who give, White Stallion Ranch, Tucson Tool Shop, Don Till Dust Landscaping, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Hope Dealers Global, CB, 2PGA, and Pep Inc. We'll have all that and more after the break.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
That's true. That's very true. I don't know if you know that, Andreas Ruiz, but this is actually Tucson's favorite family show.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I
You know.
knew that.
Yeah, you knew that.
I
Oh,
knew that,
okay.
of
Okay.
course.
Good. Yeah. Hey,
Of course.
everybody. It's Pastor John McClain. I'm here with Andreas Ruiz with I Believe in Myself Coaching and Leadership. We have. I wanted to mention something because I had this plumbing issue the other day, and if you had a plumbing issue, I want to speak to it. And, you know, particularly if you need plumbing fast, you need to call the punctual pros at Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. I mean, they're on time every time, or they pay you. Yes, you heard me correctly. So write this number down because you want to know it. 520-399-7992. That's Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Go to benjaminfranklinplumbing.com today for your fast, reliable service. And to speak of that, oh goodness, hello, Leah here. She is with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Thank you for joining us, because you can, without this sounding completely like an infomercial, you can speak to some of the things that, one, I saw on your website, and we had one of your professionals on the show last month, and not only was he awesome, but he kind of spoke to just the culture of what is Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. So before we get kind of into that, explain to people, what is Benjamin Franklin Plumbing and what do you guys do?
Well, we're a family-owned and operated plumbing company based in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, we are punctual plumbers. So we will pay you $5 for every minute we're late, up to $300.
Interesting.
Wow.
We take scheduling very seriously. We understand, that everyone's time's important.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make people wait around for us not to show up.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, realistically, I don't think people, and I don't want to just belabor this point, but I don't think people realize how brilliant your scheduling must be to be able to have that type of promise. Because yesterday I had a professional, I'm not even going to say what trade or what organization, come to my house to do service, and they did a plenty fine job, but they were scheduled to be there at 2, like 2 to 4 technically, but I was expecting them to be there at 2. They got there at 5:30.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So they would have owed me all kind of money if they would have had this promise. But real quickly, just speak to how are you able to schedule so precisely, and how do you meet such a promise?
Well, I think the first thing is we don't overschedule because you can't take every single job because then you won't deliver on the customer promise.
Right.
So the jobs that we book, we take very seriously, and we're not going to try to overbook ourselves just to be, 2.5 hours late.
Yeah.
And I think that even if we took those jobs and we did show up 2.5 hours late, I don't think that that doesn't create a repeat customer. You're not going to probably call me again.
Yeah.
So I just feel that the excellence level in the scheduling is just basically we make a promise and we will keep it.
Mm-hmm. And then, so the variety of services you guys provide, speak to that real quick.
Well, we do everything minus septic,
Okay.
which is pretty common, but we can refer somebody out to do that.
Yeah.
We also don't do leak detection, but
Okay.
everything else related to plumbing, which is a very, very long list. I don't know if John was savvy enough to rattle that off for you.
He's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, man. He's just at
Oh.
first, like I was just like, man, he's just such a humble folk. He's just such a sweet spoken gentleman. And then he started getting into it, and I was just like, this guy is a master genius, and he's going to take over the world with plumbing.
You
So-
know, the thing that's funny about John, just a fun fact, was when I interviewed him, I actually had 5 interviews that day. I'd been interviewing, the whole week. And the second I interviewed him, I knew.
Yeah.
I just said that that's the guy.
That's cool.
He's just great. Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, I don't know. I've met a couple people with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. I mean, of course, yourself and your husband, but so far, it seems like the way I just described John is the culture of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, where it's like you guys are all just humble, kind of down to earth, calm, just good old folk. But when you really start to speak to you see, and especially your husband Tom, that you guys are like masterminds from another planet, and we are blessed
Flattering.
to have you doing plumbing and serving our community in this way.
I think one of the missions of our business was to create tradespeople and to mentor and to provide a supportive environment for people to learn. So it's just an easy place to be happy. I guess that's the best way to say it. When you walk into the building and someone's been on, paid time off or whatever, they'll just be happy to be back at work. And
Wow,
I know
that's
it almost sounds silly, but you just miss each other because we all get along so well.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think it's really important that plays a big role. And you telling me that shows me that when you have your employees happy, then they'll come happy to work and do their thing. So, I mean, to me, I know that I want to see a nice smiley face when somebody comes over, because I've had people come over and they don't look very happy. They're actually upset. I've actually had people where they are angry because I said something like, hey, I'm not sure if that looks right. And then they get upset and you almost feel guilty and like, dang, like that was not fun. So sometimes you're even scared to call people because you're like, man, am I going to get the same guy? Yeah, that's another story.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
I hope you do a TED Talk about it.
Yeah, we will.
Well, you don't want a grumpy person in your home. And I agree with you. I think it makes it a little tense. And for someone to
Absolutely.
be in your home for 4 hours with that tension, not comfortable.
No. And tell us a little bit about this whole free in-home plumbing inspection. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we love free in-home plumbing inspections because our big thing is we want you to be proactive, not reactive, right? When you're
okay.
proactive, you're going to save money. So give us a call and let us schedule you a free in-home plumbing inspection. I'm going to try to do this really quickly.
Okay.
So I have a friend who has a lot of rentals and she hasn't had a plumbing inspection on one of her rentals. We went in yesterday and we found out that there had been a leak for 5 months. So now she's facing this huge renovation, restoration, mold remediation. And it's just a tough pill to swallow for her because she can't go in there and do a plumbing inspection herself. So if you have rental properties, just give us a call. We'll go in and we'll check it from top to bottom for you. And we're not trying to make a sale. We're trying to let you know, hey, maybe you should budget for this. Maybe your water heater won't be good in, another 2 years. Start saving, $100 a month.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to price gouge anyone. We just want people to know what they're up against, and we don't want you to have a catastrophic leak.
For sure, because definitely in that situation with the lady who had had to have the repair done, particularly on a rental, it's not only maybe the insurance will cover that repair, but what about the time lost in renting out
Absolutely.
that place? Like that money isn't remediated. So, yeah, that definitely that's a great idea for anybody that has a rental property at the minimum, if not just your house. Like I certainly, as you're saying, I would love to have you guys do a home inspection of my house. Especially, did you say free? Someone said free.
Yes. We
Yeah.
love free.
Yeah, well, it's just it seems like you guys, and it's what we spoke to. I mean, the same with kind of Billy with Tucson Tool Shop. Like number one, let's care about people. Let's build a holistic machine and system that's about taking care of people. And if we do
Yes.
that right, the other stuff will fall into place.
Always does.
Yeah. So I guess speak to that in regards to, I mean, and I mean, a lot of people don't know Benjamin Franklin Plumbing has many parts. I mean, particularly with you guys, what you do, like Benjamin Franklin Plumbing is part of even something bigger because you guys had another organization that was so successful, so great that you're like, man, let's do more with that. I guess speak to that a little bit. We have about a minute till we have to take off.
Yeah, it's a big story, but
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I think I'm so excited to tell it.
Yeah.
It's basically, we have other business units, and we have employees that are so amazing and so great, and we want them to do more. We want them to learn a trade or to learn, go to college or something. And we just kind of said, hey, if we started a trades company, what do you guys think about that? And
That's
they went
cool.
to school, and they're apprentices now, and they're out in the field, and
Wow.
they can go and they actually. One of the things I love is they're like, hey, can I go to the store and pick up a water heater and replace my water heater?
Yeah.
Because they can do that now for themselves, and it's just so empowering.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
That's really
great.
cool.
So we're just excited for this next generation of tradesmen and to be a part of training them.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, and I can hear the passion in your voice. I can hear the emotion. So that's really
Yeah.
cool to hear that. It's a lot bigger than just a plumbing company. There's purpose behind it.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's just I feel like, and I sense and I know that there's so much more ahead. So, yeah, I'm excited. I feel like we could spend like a whole show just talking about the dreams that we have in the future. But next show.
Yeah,
Next show
we have a
teaser.
lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But this is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Thank you, Leah, for joining us once again. What's your title with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing?
I am a co-owner.
The co-owner of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing and also the Grand Poobah, if you'd like. And I'm Pastor John McClain. Across from me is Andreas Ruiz with, I believe myself, Coaching and Leadership. And thank you, Martin Walls and Abram.
Yes.